Hi, I'm Elly. Today I'm going to read you a story called The Creeping Tide. Are you ready to listen? Okay, I'm going to show you this. Wait a minute. The Creeping Tide. Can you see it? Wait a minute. So I'll show you. Oh, the Creeping Tide. Okay, I'm going to read you the story. The Creeping Tide. In July, I went to day camp. I had outdoor sleepovers with my friend Mark, and I learned to skateboard. In July, my big sister Kate got her braces off. Except you still have to wear a retainer most of the time. But now it's August. There's no camp, and Mark is on vacation. What am I going to do? Kate, Mom says one morning, how about taking Jack to the beach? No way, says Kate. He asked too many questions. Can I go? I ask. Can we leave right now? Can we stay all day? See, Mom, he's already started. Kate says, no more questions. I promise I won't be any trouble. I'll even make our lunch. At the beach, there isn't much room to seat. The water covers most of the sand. Finally, I drop out stop. I don't ask if Kate likes this spot. That will be a question. We put on sunscreen. We go for a swim. Then we lie under blanket. I have a lot of questions, but I won't say a thing. At least not Kate. I walk over to the lifeguard. Her name is Gwen. Have you ever heard of anyone's life? I asked. Not yet, Gwen told me. Can you swim across the ocean? I asked. Not yet, she says. Let's see. What else can I ask? What time is it? 10:48, Gwen answers. Then I notice a big sign. What's that? I ask. A tide card, Gwen says. It tells you when there will be a high tide and when there will be a low tide. What's happening now? I ask. The tide is coming in, Gwen says. The water will keep covering more and more beach until high tide. Gwen helps me read the chart. High tide is at 11:40 a.m. After that, the water will start to move away from the beach, she tells me. I check the chart again, and low tide is at 5:55 p.m. I guess that's where will be the most beach. I have another question. What's the highest tide you ever saw? Once after a huge storm, the water covered the whole beach and the parking lot. Gwen says, wow, I say. Then I ask, what do you like better, high tide or low tide? I like to dig for clams and look for sea animals. So low tide is my favorite, Gwen says. I am about to ask, can I go clam digging with you? But Gwen looks kind of tired. Then I hear Kate calling, lunchtime. I raise the blanket and take up the food. Yum, peanut butter sandwiches, said Kate. I couldn't eat them when I still had braces. She takes out a retainer and we both eat. Okay. Then Kate says, a cold mango smoothie would taste good right now. Let's go to the snack stand. It's pretty far away, but I don't mind. There's lots of the sea. We stop to watch a sand castle contest. One man slips and sits on his own castle. Oops, I say. We watch on the sailboats. After a while, we stop again to watch a girl fly a kite. The kite looks like a monster, kind of like Kate when she's in a bad mood. Yes, he says, this kite is like Kate in a bad mood. We finally get to the snack stand. Kate sees some friends and then talk and talk. I wait so long I get thirsty again. Kate buys me another smoothie and we walk by past the sailboats and the sandcastle and the girl flying a kite. When we get to our spot, the blanket is sandy and wet. Hey, says Kate, the sunscreen is missing and your goggles and my retainer. Somebody stole it. Why would someone take your retainer? I almost asked with no question. Instead, I think about the sand castle, how on the back of the more sand buildings, and how the girl with the kite was standing on sand, not in the water. And the water is moving away from the beach. Gwen passed. What time is it? I ask her. Almost 5 o'clock, she tells me. How can you ask a silly question when your stuff is missing? Kate says. But it is not silly. I'm trying to figure out what happened. I walk in a straight line and step over the seaweed and washed on shore. The sand is wet and wavy. There are tide pools in the sand. I stare into the big puddles and the ocean has left behind. Seashells, crabs, little fish. They are all here. I stoop closer. Jack, my sister calls. What are you doing? Oh, that's right, he returned. I walked almost to the water. Ah, I spot the sunscreen and my goggles. Just as I thought, high tide from where we were gone. The waves washed over our blanket and carried our things down the beach, but still no retainer. I turn around the back and ouch! I step on something little sharp. The retainer. He runs over. How did you find it? She asks. Just follow the tide, I says. She gives me a big hug. Go ahead, she said. You can ask me one question. Look at her and Mom. Can we come back tomorrow? Oh, yes, that's a really good question. What is wait a minute. How did he know? Wow, he really find little fish and crabs and seashells. Wow, I really want to find that one, but I never find them. Huh, that's funny. But I never find them, really, isn't it? If I every time go to the beach, I don't even saw a little fish. I just only saw seaweed. Sometimes a little teeny bitty seaweed just across the shore and the seashells on the sand. Oh my god. Wow, I think he's really, really lucky. Or just he found great. I think when I go to the sea next time, I think I'm going to look a little more great. Okay, today I read you a story called. Wait a minute. Today I read you a story called The Creeping Tide. Are you ready? Sorry. Okay. And today I read you a story called The Creeping Tide. Okay, thank you for seeing this video. Bye. Bye, guys. Bye.